Boy, do I have some spicy battles for you today. I decided to run Carnivine in a meta that seems rampant with ice types, and yeah, we're just gonna jump into these battles. Alright, so I was originally making this team because I was seeing a lot of Gastrodon double dark poison yesterday, but in this first match, I am actually going to get a Gastrodon lead, which is what we're hoping to align with Carnivine if we do get a Cresselia switch in. And that crunch does a lot of damage. So Carnivine is a mono grass type. I did actually do a little YouTube live stream. You can actually check out the full live stream if you'd like. I'll have a link in the description where these battles took place. But I just took two of my best sets and decided to compile them here into a shorter video for you to digest. And in this match, I was like, yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect, and I ended up taking, I thought like maybe I could live this grass knot from Cresselia, but it's been so long, and I just get one shot, and I'm thinking, oh no, did I just toss the match out the window? So in this situation, I didn't want to bait at all, and this is something that during my stream, I was baiting a lot during my stream, and I kind of regret doing so. But yeah, in this situation, it's kind of insane because they end up having the Bastiodon in the back, and it all comes down to if somehow I can manage to get this Bastiodon to flip. And so we need to just barely get to the second Earthquake here. Are we going to be able to live? Honestly, when I was doing this, I felt like, yo, the fact that I sacked my Gastrodon was huge for them. But because we are able to just barely get to this Earthquake and the Gastrodon can't farm us, we just barely 1 HP in a dream this. So that was the very first match of my live stream, and I was like shocked that I actually did that. So GG's to that person. Yeah, honestly, based on the meta I was facing yesterday when I was playing with a different team, all these teams are so drastically different that I was like losing my mind a little bit, like racking my brain on like what was going on. But as I played through, I started to realize that the Drifblim, Frostlass, Gliscor have become very common leads in the meta. So yeah, me bringing Carnivine has actually been probably not the best decision because it kind of struggles with all of those. I mean, I think I have some matches showcasing against those type of leads. We'll see. But yeah, this team, I mainly just wanted to showcase some spice on the channel. I feel like I'm trying to get a little bit more back to my roots as well. I mean, I haven't been able to play too often, but I might make a short form video of a Blissey team I was running in Ultra League. And yeah, I was like dropping like a fly elo just to get one win. I think I did like 10 or so sets with, or 10 or so battles, excuse me, with Blissey, maybe 15-ish, and I lost pretty much every battle. So my elo is definitely tanked a bit, but at the same time, I'm just trying to enjoy the game and try to find some entertaining niche battles to share with you. I mean, I'm willing to take the risk because, I mean, this is part of the reason why I made this channel to begin with, is just to kind of deviate from meta and catch my opponents off guard, potentially with certain things. But yeah, looking pretty good in this match. We do get the defense drop there, which is super clutch on the Frostlass. The Mud Slaps are going to hurt a lot more now from Gastrodon. I decided to just tank the move, and because there's Gastrodon in the back, we're in a somewhat okay scenario. It's still going to be kind of tough to navigate, but we actually have a pretty good situation to kind of farm down here. So I think I might even bring in Gliscor. Yeah, I was thinking I would bring in Gliscor here and just try to build up energy, because we can take a move even if it's Water Pulse, and I can just kind of farm down the Gastrodon. So I have all that energy preserved now, and at this point I'm just going to throw the Crunch, and I have the Night Splashes, and they might shield, they might just let it go just to let the game over, but fortunately it doesn't really matter what they decide to do. They're still going to put in a tough, they're not going to give up, so we're going to just have to show them why they should have just top left. We're just going to hit them with a Night Slash here, you know, a little bang for your buck. But yeah, this was kind of an insane very first set of the stream. And yeah, we get a Drifblim lead. This is where things are a little more difficult because I'm not entirely sure how I want to play out through the Drifblim matchup just yet. We do want to just throw a Crunch here in the beginning, and I've been seeing variations of Icy Wind, Mystic Fire, and Shadow Ball. So the Icy Wind variant is probably the toughest one for my team to deal with, but they end up switching into the Munchlax. So they're taking the move, which is really clutch for them. And yeah, I'm going to just not shield and go straight for an Earthquake after building a slight amount of energy. That way we can kind of have a little bit of energy gain on the Frostlass before it comes in. And they end up bringing in Empoleon. So I'm just going to expel my energy and throw the Night Slash. And they do end up shielding. So I don't think they were counting, which is beneficial for me for sure. But now I'm looking at this scenario thinking, well, we could probably win with Gastrodon. It's going to be a little tough, I guess, against the Drifblim here. But yeah, honestly, I feel like the attack drop is a little brutal, but we really just have to get 2 Water Pulses. And it's still like very close. I mean, honestly, I decided to just take the move and risk it for the biscuit. But yeah, I don't think I could have overcome this battle in the end. Like, the attack drops are too much. And honestly, just the Drifblim being able to chip away the damage overall is like really good for them. So another tough battle here. We get a Frostlass lead. And yeah, this one's going to be tough. I'm going to stay in and try to catch a move on Gastrodon after throwing the Crunch. Unfortunately for me, that doesn't work in my favor. They switch in the Drifblim, which they can safely go for a debuff move. They do have Icy Wind, so that's looking kind of tough for my team to deal with. I do throw the Water Pulse, which I'm doing an okay amount of damage with still. I think I decide to commit the shield because it might be more valuable to stay in here. They do end up going for Shadow Ball, which I guess is even better because now we're in a scenario where what are they going to do? So they end up shielding, and I think what I want to try to do is build up energy on Gliscor here. So I think I bring in Gliscor, and I'm going for a little bit of farm down. It's a little dicey with the Icy Wind, but I think I decided to just take some damage. And at this point, it's looking kind of bad. I mean, they have the triple axle too. So that's going to be a game because the ice damage from Powder Snow is just a little too much for us at this point. Yeah, this team overall was kind of difficult for me to overcome, especially kind of adapting to this team. I mean, it still came down pretty close, I guess. I mean, but yeah, 3-2 set to start off. All right, let's jump into this next set. So I get a Gallade lead, which the confusions are still going to hurt on Carnivine. But I'm going to stay in, and I'm going to go for, I think I'm going to go for the Crunch just to get a shield. They do throw a Leaf Blade. I'm going to tank it, knowing that it is resisted. And it still does a decent chunk, but we're just going to take it to the face. I'm going to end up switching Gliscor as a safe swap here and go for the Night Slash into their Gallade. They do end up committing a shield, which is looking pretty solid for us. And this situation is going to be good because I can build up a little bit of energy. And they end up switching in Drapion a little too slow here, where I can actually throw my Earthquake before they can get off an Aqua Tail. So pretty much remove Drapion from the field with that, and in comes their Gastrodon. And instead of going for the Night Slash, I decided to just force them to throw Body Slam, you know, threatening some massive damage with Earthquake. So I bring in Carnivine, and I guess I could have just stayed in there, but I switch into Gastrodon, and I'm going to shield, and they end up switching in Gallade, so I can farm it down and preserve my energy for the Gastrodon as it comes in. So they just top left. So in this next battle, we get an Empoleon lead, which is pretty good, but they end up switching in Shadow Gliscor, so I'm going to throw a Power Whip before I switch out. I could have bait here. I mean, it was kind of obvious they were going to shield, and yeah, so they have a little bit of an energy lead. They throw their Night Slash, and they're going to throw their second Night Slash here, which at this point, they should be ahead energy, if I'm not mistaken, in this situation. But it seems like they don't throw their Night Slash here, and they just decide to let their Gliscor go. Because if they shield then throw energy, that's kind of bad for them. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to bring in Empoleon and try to get some farm down on my Gliscor. So I throw the Night Slash, get a little bit of chunk damage. I'm going to bring in Gastrodon, And I think I decide that it's probably best that I keep Gastrodon at good health. We don't really know what's in the back, and I knew I could farm down once we shielded, and they end up just top lefting, I guess, realizing they can't deal with what I have left on the field. So we get a Bastiodon lead here, and yeah, I'm just gonna stay in and go for Power Whip, because this is not too bad of a matchup. I mean, we can still do some pretty decent damage. I mean, if we could somehow predict the shields at some point, throwing a Crunch is also great, but yeah, they end up bringing Wormadam Trash, and I make a pretty bad call, in my opinion, to switch in Gastrodon here, as opposed to bringing in the Gliscor, and they have Psybeam. Like, that's kind of interesting. Is that new on Wormadam Trash? I honestly didn't realize it got Psybeam. I didn't even notice that until just now that it used that move. Like, holy smokes, that's crazy. But yeah, they make some great calls and they don't shield any of this, like, which I found to be kind of absurd. But yeah, like, definitely kind of insane. So they bring in Bastiodon again, and it's looking kind of bad because I have all these shields, right? I'm gonna bring in Carnivine, I'm thinking, and I'm gonna just try to threaten these shields. So I throw a Crunch right out the gate, and yeah, they just don't shield, which is kind of nuts to me personally. And yeah, they just, I don't know what they were thinking to just let that go through on Bastiodon. So this is looking kind of bad. The Body Slam's going to do a lot of damage. We're going to try our best to do as much as we can with Night Slash. And yeah, now they commit their shields, and now I can finally come back in with Carnivine and just barely win this match, because it looks like we're able to Vine Whip their Bastiodon before they can do anything. I don't even know if they had enough energy, but yeah, that was kind of crazy. Alright, this is going to be a tough one. Magnezone, I decided to I probably should have stayed in with Carnivine and played out the match a little bit instead of insta-swapping, but I decided to insta-swap into Gastrodon. They bring me with, they meet me with the Drifloon switch, which is kind of difficult, especially because they get the Icy Wind off. We're not in the most particular, like, advantageous spot in this fight, because Drifloon has, like, so much control right now, momentum of the fight, how it's going to play out. Yeah, maybe I should have at least committed one shield there to, like, fight for shields, because now I'm even more behind than I was with the switch. Like, I feel like maybe committing at least one shield there and throwing a Water Pulse to potentially get a shield or bring Drifloon down further would have been more beneficial for me, because now I'm just, like, in a situation where I'm sitting here trying to safe swap in to take a move, but now they're still able to stay in and punish me for that play, you know? So we're not really in the best situation. They can kind of just farm down with Magnezone at this point, and it's just going to be a GG. Like, I have to commit a shield, but if I commit a shield, I'm going to lose to the Icy Wind regardless. So pretty much this is just game at this point. Yeah, well played, definitely. Kind of dodged around that Drifloon, and yeah, that can happen to you. So yeah, we get a Bastiodon lead, which it makes sense, you know, why we're seeing the Bastiodon leads and the Frostlass, and during my stream there was one team where I faced that was a Frostlass and a Balm of Snow, and I knew I was not going to be able to overcome that team with my team. It's just too much to be able to overcome with, like, the ice and grass typing, and this team probably a little too spicy. Definitely not well adjusted to what's currently being run in the format. I just wanted to share these battles because this absolutely was a struggle, and the fact that I got any relatively decent sets out of this team with the current meta trend is actually kind of insane. And I hope you enjoyed watching these battles, at least, you know, like, that's a big part of what I'm doing with this channel here. And definitely consider liking the video. It does help my content a lot here on the platform. Consider subscribing if you like spicy GBL content. And yeah, we're pretty much about to, like, finish up this battle here. We get that nice farm down with Gliscor, excuse me. Because of that too, it puts us in a pretty advantageous situation with Drifloon. And because we have the two loaded right out the gate, they realize that it's probably just going to be game, because we're going to be able to at least outpace to another Night Slash. And yeah, their Bastiodon's not going to be able to really help at that point, so GG's. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. And I'll catch you in the next one.